Hello, and welcome back to season two, episode 139 of Paranormal NL podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pocket Cast, and YouTube. I'm your host, Jen. Happy USA Election Week to the folks listening in from the good old US of A. For tonight's show, we have a different background music, and that's complimentary of Robert Dumont. Now, for tonight's show, let's give a shout out to the Paranormal NL Podcast Alumni Network member with whom I discovered tonight's guest. A big shout out to Deborah Roku in Florida with paranormalparadigma.com. Now, Deborah was on P&L Podcast Season 2, Episode 54. Make sure you follow Deborah on Instagram. She rocks it on there. Now it's time to pull up your cozy chair and listen in to your favorite podcast. Paranormal NL Podcast is a place where the people of Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada, and anywhere else in the world can share their paranormal experiences. PNL Podcast also believes in supporting people, places, and things to promote paranormal tourism and paranormal networking all over the world. A big thank you again to all the P&L Podcast alumni guests from season 1 and 2, and of course our fans. We want to hear your stories. Do you have any paranormal, UFO, metaphysical, cryptid creatures, folklore, historical books, or just tales of the weird you'd like to share as a guest on my P&L Podcast? Please reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or Gmail at paranormal.nl.podcast@gmail.com. And after your episode, you'll become part of the P&L Podcast Alumni Network. Make sure you click on that bell, like, and subscribe, and follow along on whatever platform you're listening in on to get updates for new episodes. Head on over to Facebook and join our group. We'd love to see you there. The Paranormal NL Podcast and Bog Team Group. It's the official place to hang out in a fun and safe space and find upcoming new PNL episodes in the featured section of the group. We have a new branch of the PNL podcast with the PNL Bog Team. That's that song in the background, Boots on the Ground. Boots on the Ground Paranormal Investigation Team is doing local historical investigations in Newfoundland. Now, our fans asked us in Paranormal NL Podcast and the PNL Bog Team merch are now available on TeePublic with all the PNL official logos designed by Podcast Alumni Network member, Mr. Robert Dumont, who was on season 1, episode 28 with his Devil's Toy Box 2-part episode. Check it out. Now let's get on with the show tonight. I have on the line with me, coming in hot all the way, or should I say cold, coming in from South Maine on the stage here, we've got Kevin from Where the Weird Ones Are. Welcome, Kev.
Howdy doody. How's it going?
Yay, welcome back. Now, you were previously on season 2, episode 57 of PNL, way back when I
Yeah.
was just doing radio.
Yeah, but it was just a phone call last time, so this is
It
new.
was, yeah. I was just using the good old Spotify and the cell phone, but yeah, a lot of people are doing the video and stuff now. But you got a lot
Mhm.
of weird stuff on the go. Tell me more about what's going on in your realm.
So
I
I got a lot of stuff going on. I got more things coming too. So I have I since the last time we talked, I started I can't remember if I was already doing the hot sauce, but either way,
I think you were just
um
getting started with it. Yeah.
yeah, okay. So um hot sauce, I have 4 flavors now.
Yeah,
There's
it's called weird sauce. Show us some of the sauce. I thought it's on the shelf behind you.
I did have some I actually well, I have a bottle here that doesn't have a label on it because
Okay.
this is my 5th, flavor that's, gonna be limited for now, but I might end up adding it to, being an official flavor, so because I only had a certain amount of peppers from 'cause all the ingredients come from my garden,
I was just
so
gonna say, I saw you post you picking some apples and stuff like that. Like, where did all these ideas come from for the weird sauce?
the original sauce was just a sauce that I made on my own for my own self for, like, wings, and I used it for, like, a buffalo chicken dip kinda
Right.
thing
Yeah.
when I would sit down and watch movies or watch football or something, and, um, so I started with that, and then I was like, "Oh, you know what? I bet you people would buy this." So I researched, first of all, I researched, made sure nobody had weird sauce as a name. Thankfully, nobody does. So I got to trademark it first of all, which I haven't done yet, so don't tell anybody.
Shh,
Um,
don't let the ghost know. Hey, can we throw it on the floor and see if we can get any footprints in it? Then we can see the ghost, right, Kev?
right, exactly, exactly. Um, but there is a hashtag on Instagram for weird sauce, which is weird, but that's okay. But yeah, so it started with that, like just that one flavor, and that's what I started with. And then I was working with a nutritionist because I'm all about like health and fitness and stuff. So I was working with her trying to figure out a better way for my nutrition because my job had went from extremely physical labor to not really physical labor. So I was just trying to balance out my nutrition to help still sustain my, my activity in the gym and stuff like that. Um, and she was like, "You know what? I bet." She's like, "I've tried a blueberry hot sauce once," and I was like, "Really?" I was like, "They make blueberry hot sauce?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then we started talking about hot sauce flavors for like almost an hour.
I
And
should give
out of
you
that
some
conversation,
Newfoundland flavors, Kevin.
yeah.
You got
So
like yeah,
out of that conversation, I got the apple flavor and the blueberry flavor, and I ran with it, and I made them. They came out great. And then for the fourth flavor, I worked with David from Down the Rabbit Hole. So it's
yes, big
well, not
shout
really
out to
worked with
David
him,
from
but
Deep.
yes, he's a great guy. He's a good friend too. Um, but yeah, he's like, "Hey, can you make a hot sauce and name it after me?" I was like down the rabbit hole, and he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "What flavor would that be? Dirt?" And then, because I was on with, One Nothing podcast, which he is a
Right.
co-host of, and Amanda, who's the host, I was
Big
like,
shout out to
when am I
Amanda and One Nothing to also. She was on the show
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah, that's right, she was. I remember
Yeah,
seeing that.
yeah.
Um,
So what flavor?
and it's carrot, so she was like, "Why don't you just do carrot?" I was like, "Oh, that makes sense. Why"
Why did they choose
rabbit.
carrot? Oh, rabbit. Okay,
Yeah,
alright, rabbit eats carrot.
rabbit, yeah, so
Okay.
I made it, with rabbit. I made it with carrot.
Rabbit.
Carrots, habaneros, and ginger are, like, the 3 main
Okay.
flavors in it, and it
Have
came
you
out
ever
pretty good,
done
it's really hot.
any, okay, I'm gonna give you an idea now for something Newfoundland. Do y'all have any, or have you heard of, I guess you would call them in the US cloudberries or have you ever heard of them?
Like elderberries? Or is
Mm,
that different?
something like that. Yeah, we have all kinds of different, like, weird berries and stuff like that here, but I should give you some Newfoundland ideas, like a Jig's dinner one or something silly like that. Do you know what that is? You say you love health, right? So in
Not a
Newfoundland, we
clue.
have this dish with all kinds of vegetables you can imagine, like cabbage and all kinds of stuff all mangled up. But let's move to the paranormal stuff, and we can also talk about your weird Java. I know paranormal people love their coffee because we're up all hours of the night. Tell us about your weird Java for us paranormal folk who love to stay up late.
Alright, so I have, currently I have 3 flavors. There's 2 medium roasts and 1 medium dark roast. The dark roast is Wake the Dead because I feel like
Wake the
dark
dead.
roast is always stronger, and
Yeah.
it dark roasts of any caliber are always my favorite, so that one's Wake the Dead. I have Sasquatch Cafe, which is a medium roast, flavored with, like, maple,
Oh, we're buffering with Kev. So he's talking about his weird sauce and stuff like that, and he'll be back soon. While he's gone, I'm going to bring on the stage and present some of his link tree. And if I go in here, you can see and you can follow him where the weird ones are. And he's got a studio audience link, and he also has a website, and he has a weirdos only Patreon and a merch store. And you can contact him at where the word ones are at Gmail. Let's go into his website and take a look. And we can move around here. Oh, there he is. I'm going to bring him back on stage. Here's Kevin.
My God,
What happened,
I
man?
wasn't even looking. I don't know. I was trying to look at the audience through the camera, and then I just like turned my head and I see nothing on the computer. I was like, what the heck just happened?
That's the ghost. They're into your coffee and spilled it all over your mic or something.
Probably. It's that's not a that wouldn't be the first time the ghosts messed with me recording before. So,
Tell me some more
um,
weird stories about some of the things that happen with you.
what haven't I said? What in the world is going on with this thing?
I don't know, but we got Ghost in the Machine here tonight with Kev.
My goodness gracious.
No worries.
There it is. I don't know what the heck is going on right now, but maybe
Have you
StreamYard
ever
don't
heard
like
of
me.
having attachments in your devices? You know, when I was had a person on recently, and they said make sure you always sage your equipment, not only just yourself, but your equipment, because it can get attached to your equipment too.
Yeah. Well, I think because the temperature just randomly frickin' dropped from like consistently being 50s, 60s to down to 25 last night.
Okay.
So my stuff is in the basement, so maybe I should just keep my heater on down here now.
Yeah, yeah, because we had snow actually today, which was really gross
Did
on the way
you?
home. We did, yeah.
Oh,
Not much
gross.
though, just a wee bit, and it all melted, but still, it's like, "Oh, no, where's the salt truck?" Right? As everybody was slowing down, it's like, "Okay, grandma, let's go." You know?
I don't like getting snow until after Thanksgiving, which I know you guys have like a Thanksgiving what in September kind of thing. It's not the same
October,
thing. I don't know.
it's the same thing, it's just that in our area, we're further, northern zone, so our harvesting season is earlier than y'all's. So that's why our
Okay.
Thanksgiving is
Yes.
in October. Yeah, but I
Makes
get to
sense.
celebrate them both because I'm American too, so yay.
Perfect.
So you're
Perfect.
excited about the whole election thing this week? I see you got a bit of USA on your shirt there.
Yeah. I mean,
N
I'm
I
not
don't like to.
excited about it, but I'll take what I think is the best out of the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like to talk politics really on the show, so I'm sure everybody will have their popcorn out, and let's just leave it at that, right?
Yes, we can leave it at that.
Well, let's
Um,
switch gears and talk paranormal. Tell me some weird stuff besides weird equipment stuff.
all right. I can't remember what I told you last time, but I've seen shadow figures my entire life, but I guess as of recently, so my son has started becoming more religious in a sense, you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
like he doesn't want to go to church or anything, but he started wearing a cross. He started talking about God. He started reading the Bible and stuff like that. He's 15. He's going to be 16 in a couple weeks. Um and then all of a sudden, out of like the whole time he's been alive, he hasn't really had any weird experiences. And ever since once he started kind of like walking that path, all of a sudden things started happening that creep him out. And um I don't know.
So
I just think
before he was starting to get religious, things
like
creeped him out, or after?
after, like once he started becoming believing in God and stuff like that, things
Okay.
started. It's almost seemed like they were trying to mess with him in a
Mm.
way, like just like little mischievous stuff, like moving his one of his stuffed animals to the center of his bed and setting it perfectly in the center of his bed. Like he went upstairs to his room and I just hear, Dad. And I'm like, yeah. yeah. And he comes downstairs. He goes, there's my stuffed animals in the center of my bed. And I go, okay. He goes, I didn't put it there. And I was like, well, there's a dog in the house. He goes, it's sitting perfectly in the center of my bed. And I was like, all right, I have to see this. And I was just sitting there at the center of his bed, like literally pinpoint center. I was
Would
like,
any of his
oh
friends or
boy.
anybody else be messing with him or no?
No, no.
No.
He not in my house. His friends don't come here.
Interesting. We had something weird like that happen the other day with the remote. And I swear to God, we moved all the furniture, moved the couch, moved everything around. And I said to my husband, I said, "You're going to have to ask the house to give it back." He said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, ask the house." And he swore up and down, like, lost his shit because, he wanted to watch TV. So we went to bed the next morning. I swear to God, no word of a lie, it was stood up perfectly like somebody just laid it there on the floor right next to the chair and like in between the chair and the furniture that we had completely moved around. It's like, what the
That's funny. That's
like,
interesting
okay.
too.
Yeah, it's just so weird. It's like, come on, that couldn't happen. Yeah, like this weird stuff like that happens, right? I just, a lot
Oh,
of people just brush it off, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I probably maybe not have, but I don't know. I scare easy when it comes to paranormal stuff. Like I'll sit there and assess the situation, and then I'll be like, no, that's got to be a fucking ghost. Let's run, burn the house down, kind of stuff. Let's get out of here. I'm not coming back. Sell the house.
I'm kind of like I'm both ways like you. Like I'm a skeptic, and then I'm the scientist. Like, okay, so could it have slid down and been stuck inside the couch somehow, or you know what I mean? That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking, right? But then it was
yeah.
like, there's no bleepity bleep way, and da 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 da. Right? But so, what else is going
That's
on weird
funny.
in your house with the shadow figures?
Well,
What have you seen?
I haven't really. So I did see. I don't know if I told you this story. Um, my girlfriend and I had just started seeing each other last year,
Right?
and
Yeah.
I was laying in bed one night. She had just left the house, and I was like half asleep, and I hear my name called, and I just kind of like lift my head, and I'm like, "What?" Like thinking that she came back for some reason, and Um, then all of a sudden I see the shadow figure enter my room, and it was very like voluptuous, full figure. Like you could see like all of her curves and everything, but it was a complete shadow. You could see her hair is flowing and stuff, which is the weirdest thing that I've ever seen for a shadow figure. Usually I can't make
Yeah,
out
because usually
any
you can't.
distinctions. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
I
it's
swear it wasn't me.
coming in, but the best so the best way that I can describe the way that this freaking thing was moving was C3PO. So it's like very stiff movement, kind of like this as it's coming in. And
Okay.
like I was just like, what in the world? And then I realized that I'm in like a state of paralysis, like
Mm.
sleep paralysis. I couldn't move. I'm sprawled out on my bed like a starfish and nothing's moving. But I move my eyes. I look to the corner of my eyes and I could see my phone. I was like, I need my light. For some reason, I wasn't like, I need to attack this thing and get it out of my house because who is this? Who's that? Who broke into my house? My immediate thought was, I need my phone for my light. Um, but it's probably because, of all my experiences. I'm like, "Oh, well, I gotta light this up, make sure this isn't a figment of my imagination," kind of thing.
Right,
So
your
I'm sitting
paranormal
there,
debunking starts kicking in, right? Yeah.
right? So I'm like just kind of like wiggling my fingers, trying to stretch my hand out, trying to grab the sheet to pull my hand closer to my phone, and I'm like doing this, but I'm not moving. And my eyes look back at her, and she's like about to get on my bed
Oh,
at my
jeez.
feet, and I finally break out of it, and I just the couple of inches that my phone was away from my hand, I grab it, light up my flashlight, and there's nothing there, and then as soon as I realized nothing was there, I just started sweating, like, profusely, and my heart started pounding, and never saw it again. So I don't know. It was definitely something pretending to be a shadow figure. I don't think that was an actual shadow figure. Um, but I did because I had to go to the bathroom shortly after, and I didn't want to leave my room, so I had to jump out of each door around each corner, karate chopping because everybody knows karate chops kill ghosts.
Oh my gosh. Were you afraid of the dark when you were a kid?
I was, yeah, I
Yeah.
was
I
afraid
mean,
of something being under my bed too. I used to
yeah,
run and
yeah.
jump, you know?
I mean, what kid wasn't afraid of the dark, right? But I'm
Mm,
thinking, yeah, here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we call that the hag. Have you ever heard of that, Kev?
yes, I have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sleep paralysis and the hag. We had the Grind Mind on with Shane Mills, and they have a mini series, a Newfoundland Nightmare, the Hag on 5 TV1. But yeah, they even had people who weren't from Newfoundland and Labrador came to visit here and ended up getting the hag. It's a really pronounced thing here because we're a very Irish culture, and it
Mhm.
happens a lot in Ireland too. Yeah, a lot of people experience shadow figures for sure and sleep paralysis. Anything else happen after that? Did she ever come back or
Never saw her again. It was one and done. And I took it like at the time I was taking it as like a warning to like not get with my girlfriend or something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't think like so I had Vicky Joy on.
I was
She's
just
a
gonna mention Vicky, yeah.
yeah. So she and I told her this story and she's like, if it's a negative entity, it's not trying to warn you about anything.
Right.
And I was like, "That's
It's
you
just
have a point. You do have a point." So,
yeah, shout out
who
to
kno
Vicky Joy. Definitely follow her if you're
yeah,
into and wanna talk about sleep paralysis for sure.
absolutely. Her book is amazing too.
Yeah, she's got her own podcast now, I think, too.
Yep, it's on YouTube. I can't remember if she what she named it, but the Vicky Joy will probably bring you right to it.
And that'll lead us into your new podcast on YouTube with DTRH also.
Yeah, so I started a morning show called Weird Java in the Morning, a good way to promote my coffee. So the
Weird
coffee
Java
comes
in the
out of
morning.
yeah. The coffee comes out of Fort Worth, Texas. And the beans
Gotta
are
love
imported from
Texas.
South and Central America.
Central
So,
America.
and
Okay.
yeah, and then so I wanted to do this morning show. First of all, I wanted to do a separate podcast with a couple of my buddies, which so the way that Weird Java in the Morning is set up is how I was gonna set it up with them, but I could never get like we could never settle on a time to meet and stuff like that. And so it never happened. And then once the coffee started, I was like, I really want to do it as a morning show. And I was like, but I can't just sit there and talk to myself. I need to have somebody to talk to as well.
Yeah.
So first person I thought of was David. I was like, if David doesn't do it, there's maybe one other person. Other than that, I might have to try and find an attractive female to be my co-host because that's how you promote things is you get an attractive person to do things
Get
with
a
you.
bombshell on there, hey.
Exactly,
Or you can just
exactly.
have
But
you and David. You guys are awesome.
absolutely, I think so too. So we did our first show this past Sunday. So every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. We're live on YouTube. We do news. We do things we see on TikTok. We do David's creepy video of the week, and we have another podcast.
David,
Our
you're
friend,
killing it on the reels, man. I don't know where you find the time to make so many of them, but you're killing it on DTRH Instagram. You got to follow him too.
absolutely. And we have our friends Rachel and Heather from Like Mother Like Murder podcast that does a segment for missing persons. So it's like a missing persons alert. So we can try and help bring missing people home. If somebody random like sees it and they're like, "Oh, I think I've seen this person," maybe that might help.
I
But
haven't had them on the show yet. If y'all are listening, yeah, I think I might reach out to y'all.
Yeah, they're wonderful people. Glad
So
to be
tell
friends with them for sure.
Yeah, so what else is on the go with you? I see Best
So,
Dad over there.
yeah, we got I have a supplement line that might be coming out. I just want to try it first
Oh, yeah. Okay.
before I do that. But other than that, I think my daughter's picked up wrestling again, so once January hits, we're gonna be pretty busy with that. Um, I don't know. I kind of fell into like this like depression today because I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I won't. There's I go back sometimes I'm like I don't know if I'm doing a good job with like the podcast and stuff like that. Not that I
What do
care
you
about
mean?
like
You're freaking killing it,
what
man. Look at
people
all the
care
stuff
about
you got. You got
the
weird
listenership.
Java, weird sauce, weird everything.
Yeah, I know. I just get like this like weird imposter syndrome kind of thing going on where I'm just like I'm not good enough, like I don't deserve anything. So but I'm coming out of it now. Like I'm starting to like while I was at work, I was in my head. So, um, but yeah, it's just I don't know. I
Well, you
I
got a
kind of
big
felt
group of people that support you, Kevin, and if you ever need to reach out to us, by all means do so. We're here for you, man.
I appreciate it
We
a
support
lot.
you 100%.
Yeah, I get more support from strangers than I do my own family and friends. And that's not just for the podcast, that's like personal life too. You know what I mean?
Well, you'd
Which
be
is
surprised,
interesting.
sometimes your para family really is a family, and you would never think of it, right? That a way that you can talk
Absolutely.
to, and that's another reason why paranormal folk like to talk to each other because we have so many things in common, and the barriers come down, and you can talk about anything, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I've cried with so many people on my podcast. I cried with Chucky Danger,
Oh,
who
I love
is
Chucky.
a good
Big
friend.
shout out to
He-
Charles Stevens, Chucky Danger.
uh, yeah, he's amazing. I love that kid. Um, I don't know. It's been a lot of fun, and I love the people that I've met so far, and I'm glad to be able to still stay in touch with all of them too. You know. And I think what really set it on is because I don't have an episode for this week. I think that's why I started getting like down about it. I was like, "Oh, I figured people would want to be on my show." And I just I gotta stop doing that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Well, hey, reach out in the chat group that we've got that Chucky has for his link tree. Just say, "Hey, man, who wants to be on my show this week?" Like Joe threw it out there, and he got Brent Thomas on right away. So yeah, just use the group chat. Like, there's lots of people who'd be more than glad to jump on with you, Kev.
Yeah.
I'm
I
sure a
keep
lot of people didn't know that you were looking for somebody.
Well, I wasn't really looking for somebody. I had somebody and they canceled. So,
Shit
um,
happens, man, all the time.
yeah.
That's why I don't put the date on my teasers, never put the date because life happens and, you know, SH happens, and I never put the date on there, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But if
But
you ever
I did put
need
the Weird Java in the morning audio out this week, so at least there's something.
woohoo, yeah. So listen, if you ever need a guest or something like that, reach out. 1 second, I gotta sneeze. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, no, my cat was just up on the table. But if you ever need a guest or ever need to talk, like totally reach out. And that's
Okay.
not, just going for you, but anybody in the paranormal community. I mean, we all gotta stick together, right? I know some people get down
Absolutely.
and things like that, but we can always bring each other up. What you got there? A new drink? A new weird drink?
No, no. It's just polar polar seltzer water.
There you go.
Oh,
That'll do it.
I I started a carnivore diet, so anything that I can get that's not meat with a flavor, I'm gonna take it. And
Oh, there you go.
I don't eat sugar now, so
Yeah, that helps drop the pounds for sure. I need to get in some kind of regimen with you. That's a new thing you can start. You can get us paranormal fat people in shape, man.
I would. So before I started the podcast, I was trying to be a fitness trainer. I was trying to be God damn it, what a personal trainer. There we go. I was trying to be a
Right.
personal trainer, had a website set up and stuff like that, and then like nobody was interested. I even told people that I'd give them an 8-week program for free, and nobody was taking it. And I was like, ah, but like because my dream is to like just work for myself. That's my dream. I'd love to have like a restaurant or food truck, and
Oh,
be
I
my
think
own
you would be
boss.
awesome with a food truck. Yeah. What kind of stuff would you have on your truck?
Like a gourmet cheeseburgers. Like I would fancy up these cheeseburgers so nice. Like
You know
I
what?
do
You could park that shit right outside, excuse the language again, folks, to where people are ghost hunting, and then after, because everybody got a huge appetite right after they've been on a good ghost
absolutely.
hunt, and you can be
Mhm.
like, "Yo, come on over, man. We got all kinds of weird stuff here for you." You would rock
Absolutely.
it because, nothing is open at the hours after our investigations. It's like, "Where are we gonna go?" Well, in Newfoundland, there's
Mhm.
not many places to go unless you bring your own stuff, right?
I I've heard it's very scarce up there.
Yeah, slim pickings. Especially for the diabetic folks, we're like, "Oh, man, we gotta take our insulin." It's like, "No, I don't wanna take my insulin," and some people are like, "Well,
Uh,
I gotta have a snack before I go to bed." I'm like, "Well, I don't wanna have a snack before," you know what I mean? You can have all this, cool, healthy, spooky stuff waiting for all these paranormal people coming out, you know?
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I gotta get out on more investigations sometime soon. Yeah, I've talked to Christina Westervelt a couple times about linking up for an investigation, but because she only like investigates like New York area, so it's a little bit of a drive for me. So
Right, yeah. Yeah,
she
because 'cause you're in
she
Maine.
usually yeah, she usually gives me dates, like, ahead of time, but I'm like it's so far, she's given me 2 dates, and both times I've already had plans on those dates, and I was like and she's like, "Well, I tried." I was like, "Well, I appreciate you trying."
What about other stuff? I know, like, you got a lot of Bigfoot stuff on the go there, and you've got UFO stuff. Have you hooked up with Nomar yet up in
Uh,
Maine?
I mean, we've met a few times at a couple conventions, but no, I am so,
Big shout out to
since you bring
Nomar
up
Slevik. He was on
Nomar
the show.
Slevik, yeah, he's
UFOs
a
over
author.
Maine. Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic person. But speaking of Nomar, I am starting a production company. I'm gonna be filming my own documentaries, and
Nice,
uh,
okay.
I'm hoping I was hoping to get started or be already started on it, but I might wait until spring now. But I could probably do a couple, um, like set up inside and interview people. But so my first it's gonna be a series called Where the Spirits Are, kind of like a play off of my podcast name,
Okay.
and I'm gonna do like small town investigations, like so like interviews of people from small, like what's the history of the town, people who've had weird experiences. In the first town that I'm starting in is my hometown. So last year in 2023, um Sanford, Maine was voted one of the most haunted town, or the most haunted town in all of the state. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, that's interesting." And then I decided that I wanted to do that, and then somebody else who is also friends with Nomar had put um a documentary out about our town on YouTube, which is really good. But I was gonna go in a different direction, so I'm still gonna go forward and make this documentary because it's gonna be a little bit different from his. But he's also gonna help, and Nomar's gonna be the narrator for it. So
Oh, I love that.
I'm gonna try and keep Nomar on for all of my documentaries and have him narrate all of them because his voice. is amazing. I could fall asleep. He could read me a book. If I could get him to do audiobooks, like be a voice actor, I could fall asleep to that guy's voice. Like
I'm
he
gonna
has
have
a
to hook up
smooth voice.
Nomar with Kat Ward. Have you been with Kat yet from Ontario?
I have not. Tommy tried to get me on there, but it never happened.
Okay, I can try to hook you up with Kat. She's my girl. Yeah, I mean, she does some voiceovers for audiobooks and stuff. Maybe she can help Nomar.
Oh, wow.
N- Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you ever think about doing production for other people's stuff? If people have
Oh,
a documentary in mind with their own storyboard and their own video and voiceover, A roll, B roll. Do you ever think about doing that and helping them produce?
yeah. I mean, if anybody ever wants my help with anything in this realm, I'd be more than happy to lend a hand.
Yeah, I think that, like you said, we were talking about, kind of listening and helping uh, each other out and stuff. I think that happens a lot in the paranormal realm. And I think that you're doing a really good job. And I think everybody should definitely get out there and follow you. And I'm going to bring up your link tree again. And everybody follow Kevin with Where the Weird Ones Are. And he's in Maine. We were talking about it. And I can pull up your website too if you'd like. I can take this off the
Yeah.
screen and present your website because I just found that a few seconds ago. Yeah, let me take that off the stage. So, would you want to give a shout out to people on where to find you and things like that?
Yeah, sure.
Let me pull
So
up that website while I'm looking for the website here.
the
Here it
podcast
is.
is on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, and Apple, as well as YouTube. And then on Instagram, where underscore the weird ones are, and on Facebook, where the weird ones are.
And you've got a
So,
trailer. You want me to play your trailer?
sure.
Okay.
What's up, freaking weirdos? My name is Kevin, and I'm the host of Where the Weird Ones Are podcast. This is a conversational podcast based on guest experiences and encounters with paranormal, cryptids, aliens, spirituality, mental health, as well as conspiracies. If these topics interest you, you can find me on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, as well as YouTube and Rumble. If you have an encounter or an experience of something that you can't quite explain, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to me at wheretheweirdonesare@gmail.com, where_the_weird_ones_are on Instagram. And
Awesome sauce. I'm bringing up your weird sauce here now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There's the
Let's get
videos right there.
weird. Okay, yeah. Which one do you want me to play? This is the one
You
where
can
you were
play both
picking
of
the
them if you want.
apples.
Yep.
got some leaves with this one. But here at Weird Sauce Incorporated, or whatever the fuck, we pick fresh green apples for our green apple sizzle.
Look at all those apples.
Don't have much of a charge today, but we're gonna get some.
This is all on your property?
I highly recommend it. If you like fresh apples,
No,
and
this
you like
is
hot sauce, you should get
this
some.
is a farm
Weird
down
sauce.
the street that I go to.
I got some green apples. Green apple sizzle. Get some.
That looks so good, those green apples.
Yeah, they were pretty big and juicy.
Yeah, and then you've got this other new one. Oh, the blueberry one. Let's watch the blueberries. This looks so weird, right?
Here
So
at Weird Sauce,
I want to try it.
Incorporated or whatever the fuck. Where I make hot sauce, I use real Maine blueberries. Look at the chadge. Look at the chadge. You like hot sauce? You like blueberries? Put them together, you get blueberry heat. Weird sauce. Get some.
Those blueberries are huge, Kevin. That's at the same farm,
Yeah,
right?
they were big. Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of like just wild blueberries. In fact, over here by my house, I've got like wild blueberry patches. And there's
Nice.
DTRH's. Check it out. Down the rabbit hole. Weird sauce. There it is. Carrots,
Yeah.
because rabbits like carrots. Love it. Love it. And what's this one? Hot lemon squeeze. That's another one,
Uh,
right?
yeah, that's my original one.
That's your original one. Which one is your best seller
Yep.
here?
It's a toss up between the blueberry and the down the rabbit hole right now.
I think my husband would love the blueberry one because we have a canine dog daycare too. And I'm going to go back to your website over here. We saw the weird sauce. Here's your weird Java. Now, which one do you
There
want
it
me to click
is.
on? This one?
Uh, sure. Yeah.
I don't think it lets me. It's only like order. Yeah, you can see all
Yeah.
the
It
different
just.
logos. Yeah, it looks good. This one here with the Bigfoot, he's got chocolate covered almonds, maple syrup. Ooh, us Canadians like the maple, and
Yes, we
citrus
do.
sorts from where is this? Yeah, like you said, Central America. Interesting. Yeah, you got all kinds of cool stuff. Merch. You want to give your merch a shout out? There it is. Where the weird ones are. Who did all your logos? I see DTRH got a logo there.
Yeah. So it was Emily. Why am I blanking on it? Emily Leto? She's the fine art medium, amazing artist. She's done most of my work, but she was overwhelmed with her day job and doing my stuff. She couldn't keep up with me because I kept giving her different designs. And she's like, I'm really sorry, but I gotta focus on, you know,
Is this Drewski?
it is Drewski.
Oh man, shout out to the Cryptid Warfare podcast. They were on the show. Mirka! Love it.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they're
Where
great
did the
guys.
name come from though for your merch? Like where did the name come from for your logo?
Where the weird ones are?
Yeah, like where did you
Uh,
get that idea?
so did you ever read the book Where the Wild Things Are?
Have not.
So that's where it was inspired from. Like it's a play off of that. Um, they did make a movie out of it a couple years ago. I think it was like maybe 2007-ish, maybe
Okay.
2009-ish. I don't know, something around that time.
Nice. So
But I
everybody
want at first I was go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say at first I was gonna do where the weird things are, but that was already a podcast, so I had to change it. And I went to a couple other names that I can't remember. I don't recall them now. But then I came back to try and to play off of that, and it ended up coming out as where the weird ones are, and it stuck.
It makes me think of Austin too, because in Austin, Texas, it's Keep Austin Weird. Have you been to Texas yet?
I've driven through Texas.
Oh, well, you got to go to Austin. And when you go there, you got to get one of those Keep Austin Weird t shirts.
Yes, I probably will because I do want to go to the mothership at some point. So
Yes, you had to go to the mothership. For sure. Everybody, follow Kevin from Where the Weird Ones Are and stay weird. You won't be disappointed. Check out all of his merch and cool stuff. And like I said, stay weird out there. Do you want to give a shout out to your fans there, Kev?
Uh, yeah. So, Veronica, she's a lovely lady. She listens to most of my episodes and she comments. She is very active and stuff. So I just want to say, hey, Veronica, I appreciate you very much. You know, and I love how interactive you are. But other than that, I think this has been an amazing chat. You should definitely come on the show too as well sometime.
Yeah, I'm up for
I
that.
I have dates in December.
Okay,
So
I
maybe
can
we
do
could do
that.
something. All right,
Yeah, yeah.
perfect.
I'm booking now for December actually because I'm fully booked up here in November, but I can jump on in December, I do believe.
Great. Great.
Yeah,
Great.
I'd love
That
to be on your
works.
show.
That
Okay,
works.
everybody, thanks so much, and good luck down in the US of A with your
Oh
election.
wait,
We'll all be watching with our
real
popcorn.
quick. There is another podcast that I want to shout out real quick. It's Twisted and Uncorked. So Alicia is also Canadian, and she has done some of my merch as well. So she did my brand new It design and my Ghost Girl and stuff like that. So she'd also be her and her co-host would be great for your show as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm going to stop recording and we're going to have a quick off air chat. Say peace out to everybody.
Later, Gators.
Everybody follow Kevin and where the weird ones are. And stay weird, right, Kevin? Do it.
Stay weird.